vlog on having a crisis in your life or your company and why brand plays such an important role in crisis communication. So working with clients, they have personal situations or work situations that turn into a crisis or a mistake. Think like Wells Fargo on like the corporate side, where things are done intentionally at times and people or people make mistakes on purpose or on accident. How do you come back from that? If your brand is strong and it's consistent and you've been building it over time, it's going to rise and you're going to come back fast. If nobody knows who you are as a human being or a company, and you have zero brand ambassadors or very few, if you haven't shared your story well, then your foundation is pretty shaky. If you have a personal brand that you've built over time that's strong, you're consistent, you know what your values are, your core value attributes, or your core value statements, and those are a filter that you use for them almost every single day. Now, all of us, none of us are perfect. I've made 1,000 mistakes, but over time, hopefully my brand has shown that I'm consistent, most of the time, and I really care. So if you're a corporation or an individual, brand is so important, because when a crisis hits, and eventually it will, you will make a mistake. Most of the times it's not on purpose, but sometimes you just do things that are just wrong. And how do you come back from that? Well, a couple of things. Obviously, you come back immediately. If there needs to be an apology, you apologize with contrition, right? And then what is the sign of a real apology? Change. What is the sign of real apology? Restitution, if that's necessary. What is the sign of a corporation stepping out and saying we've done something wrong? It's an immediate response. If you have a good brand, you don't have to call a crisis PR company and say, what do we say? It's pretty easy what you say. You stick to the truth, you apologize, and you're like, here's how we're going to come back from it. If you know what your brand is, you know what your value attributes are, you know what your core value statements are. That's why core value statements are so important. And you can't just come up with those on the fly. Like, you really need to do those well. If you know what they are, and that's a filter for how you communicate and do all things, core value statements are what you use as a filter while you try to communicate through the crisis. Brand plays such an important role. It's foundational to everything. How you communicate, how you train your employees, how you do brand guides, all of those things, how you market everything. So have those in place and you'll win and succeed and get through a crisis every single time.